Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. We're talking financially lit fathers. And yes, that lit does mean we're on fire with financial literacy. Money tips for that every father should know, plus the financial game plan that's actually changing the game for those of you who will stick around to the end of today's episode. So do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name is your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss this, and tag your favorite father in today's episode. For those of you who are watching and tuning in live, if you're listening to the actual podcast, then this is one that you want to share with the favorite fathers in your life, and not just fathers, but men, fathers to be. You don't want to miss this one, man, because where we need to be as men is head of our households, including head of our finances. So make sure you tune in. Let me know where you're from, the name of your business and on your brand, and let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities, and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from, or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from the Extra Digit Movement Studios right here in St. Louis. The Extra Digit Movement is the most committed, the most engaging, loving, compassionate group of financial educators on the planet. And we want to help you get your money right. People often ask, well, Cortez, where do you learn all of this stuff that you share with us? When it comes to money, the Extra Digit Movement, man, we plugged into a network of financial experts that will help you make more money, help you save and protect your money, and help you grow your money as well. If you would like to be part of that community, then you should comment Extra Digit Movement, and I'll send you the details on what you need to get going. But comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and on your brand. We're talking financially lit fathers. Yes, lit as in on fire, lit as financially literate. Money tips every father should know. Plus, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you my personal financial game plan that is changing the game like nobody's business. So comment where you're from, drop the name of your brand, just don't share any links, and we're going to get this show rolling. But before we do, I got to give you an announcement, man. You guys know I give my announcements, and today's announcement, I'm super, super excited to be sharing with you guys that the group Financially Lit Fathers has just crossed over 200 men committed to building and increasing their financial literacy, financial IQ for the purposes of building and growing generational wealth. And I'm super proud to be launching this. So if you are a father or a father to be, or really just a man committed to building wealth, then you need to let us connect you to financially lit fathers. You can join the group. All you got to do is comment financially lit in the comments, and I will send you a personal invitation to join the group right here on Facebook, man. We are literally changing the game. I'm super proud of that group and all the men who are raising their hand and say, man, yeah, I need to be part of a community that is focused on financial literacy. So Financially Lit Fathers is not just the name of today's episode, but it's the name of the movement and community that we're creating around changing the conversations in our households, around the dinner tables, that will change future generations. And we're laying out game plans, everything that you need to build wealth. Here's what we're doing. We are helping men make money more efficiently. My goal is to have you making the same amount of money that you're living on right now in half the time, so that you have more time with your family and more time to dedicate to the community. Then we're helping men save and manage their money more effectively, right? How do you save money? You start with your biggest expense, taxes. We're going to talk about that in today's show, right? Cut those down. And then we want you to grow and protect your money more aggressively. Some of us, we're late in the game with increasing our financial IQ, and we think $50 a month is going to build generational wealth. No, we got to get aggressive, fellas. And that's what this group is all about. So if you are not a part of the group, then comment financially lit so that I can add you to the group after the show. So we're talking money tips every father should know. And then I'm going to give you my personal financial game plan to help you guys towards the end of the episode. But we start every episode right here on the Cortez Hustle Show with a quote of the day. Today's quote comes from a legendary investor, brilliant financial mind by the name of Ivy Stokes. He said, "Building wealth is a team sport." Man, building wealth is a team sport. Now you probably can understand why money has been so much of a taboo subject. See, our society has got us thinking that we got to be private about our financial affairs and our money. Well, that mentality, how many of you guys come from a family where you never talked about money? How many of you guys are because of that, you think it is taboo to talk about money right now today, right? Well, that's part of our problem, y'all, is building wealth is a team sport. And all of us have been taught and trained either overtly or covertly to try to do it on our own. Question is, how's that working for you? Right. I see my man Amari here. He knows that building wealth is a team sport. He has a team around him doing amazing things. Guys, you need a team to build generational wealth. Now, if you only want to get by, yeah, you don't need a team for that. You can go to work, make your money, pay your bills. You don't need a team for that. But if you're trying to really build generational wealth, if you're trying to pass down passive and leverage the portfolio income to your children and teach them the financial principles to manage and create that, you don't do that by yourself, right? That's another reason I created the group Financially Lit Fathers. Comment financially lit if you're a father or a father to be and you want to join us in that Facebook community, right? So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by my good friend and sales confidence coach, Mr. Brian Keith McNeil. He wants you to join him on his weekly training sessions for free. All you got to do is go to howtogetaclientnobs.com. That's howtogetaclientnobs.com. And you're going to learn the art of gaining new clients on demand, master selling more in less time, and closing the deals without being pushy. But one of the things that I love is he is serious about this sales conversation. And you can't be a wimpy salesperson, right? According to Brian K. McNeil. So make sure you guys check that out. How to get a client, nobs.com. I'll put the link in the show notes and in the comments here momentarily. So let's get on with today's content for today, man. We're talking 7 financial tips that every father should know. And plus, I'm going to throw in some of mine. Found this article on men's health, and I thought it would be fitting to bring some of this stuff to fathers so we can have this conversation. But I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't up the volume at which you're talking about money, you'll never transform your finances. See, we need to be talking. We've been so quiet about money for so long. We've got to start talking about it every day, everywhere we go, right? If you listen to my good friend, Dr. George Frazier, he says, other cultures are talking about money all the time. And that's why they are progressing in their financial independence and their economic empowerment, is because you get what you focus on, ladies and gentlemen. And when I say talk about money, believe it or not, you talk about money a lot, right? You're just not talking about it in the proper context. You're not talking about it in trying to figure out ways how to get more of it, how to keep it, and how to grow it. You're talking about it from the standpoint that you don't have it all the time, right? Kanye West said it best: having money is not everything, not having it is. When you don't have money, you talk about it negatively all the time, about what you can't afford, about what costs too much, about I can't believe they're splurging on this, that, and the other, right? So you do talk about it all the time, but you're talking about it in the negative, right? I want you guys to put this in the comments, and I want you to start saying this about the things that you want to do instead of declaring what you can't do. Put this in the comments. How can I? How can I? When it comes to our money, we are constantly talking about what we can't afford. I can't afford that. Wealthy people understand how the subconscious minds work. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, they say, how can I afford it? See, there's this miracle that happens with your brain. When you ask it a question, it will go to the ends of the earth, literally, to find an answer. But when you say, I can't, it stops. I want you to understand that. When you ask it a question like, how can I afford that? It's going to run all of these scenarios for you. And it never stops running those scenarios until you tell it to stop. But when you say, I can't afford something, it runs 0 scenarios, right? And it just, it stops right there and moves on to something else, right? So don't say I'll never be wealthy. I can't build generational wealth. Ask yourself, how can I build generational wealth for my family? And listen to those scenarios that your brain is going to run. Listen, because it's going to give you 1,000,001 ideas when you ask how. But you can't ask how, then not listen, and then not act, right? So this article on men's health just drops some jewels for fathers, and the context of this is for new fathers, but every father needs to know this stuff and how to get in the game financially. So let's get down to number 1. Give yourself a system, not a budget. Give yourself a system, not a budget. I heard a podcast the other day, and the person being interviewed was a good friend, Marquell Russell. He's a dope internet marketer, created hundreds of millions of dollars in sales for his clients and how to acquire more clients and that kind of stuff. And he says, success is not a secret. Success is a system. Oh, that might be worth writing down. Success is not a secret. Success is a system. And then he added to the fact, you either build and develop your own system or you pay somebody to teach you theirs. Oh, that's so rich. You got to get that. Success is not a secret. Success is a system. You either build and develop your own success system or you pay somebody to teach you theirs. So in this article, it says, don't give yourself a budget, give yourself a system of managing your money. Budgets are like New Year's resolutions. They're easy to make, but tough to stick to, especially once you have a new little one and expenses are popping up pretty much daily, right? Daily. When you got kids, something comes up daily, right? I don't know about you guys, but my children were very, very good at not telling me about the field trip or the school expense until the morning of. Oh, by the way, Dad, I need $20 a day. For what? Oh, we're going on a field trip. Why are you just not telling me this today, right? To help monitor it all, Moody, which is a financial institution, recommends using 2 credit cards, one for necessities like groceries, home maintenance, and utilities, and the other for entertainment and luxuries or splurges. This turns each, living expenses and entertainment, into easy to track monthly bills, right? Now watch this. When I mention the word credit card, some of you guys are tuning out. Like, Cortez, I ain't trying to get into debt. I ain't with the whole credit card thing. There's been so much. I see my man Michael Woods in the building. What's going on, brother? I see so much conflicting information about credit cards, right? And whether to use them and whether to not. We being grown people right now, right? And understanding that it's going to require discipline to manage your finances altogether. But let me help you understand some of the differences between using the credit card versus using your bank or your debit card. You guys realize that one of the reasons wealthy people use credit cards all the time is because it does not put their money at risk. Now, we are steering away from them because we lack the discipline to manage them. Don't steer away from them. Improve your discipline. I want you to think about what I just said. When you use your debit card, you're putting all of your money at risk because most of us have all of our money in our checking account. Am I right? You're putting all of it at risk every single time you swipe that debit card. When you swipe the credit card, you're putting the bank's money at risk. And if somebody stole my credit card number and they ran up a gazillion dollars in charges, I'm going to cancel that credit card. They're going to send me a new one via FedEx within the next 2 days, and I'm back in business. Now, have any of you guys ever had your bank information compromised? Somebody steals your debit card number, they run up a gazillion charges. That's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. How do you fix that? Well, you first got to go file a police report that is identity theft. Then they've got to do all of their investigating and all of this stuff. That whole while, your account is frozen, which means all of their money, all of your money is tied up until they take 60 to 90 days to figure everything out. that's a catastrophe waiting to happen, right? A catastrophe waiting to happen if you're not careful, right? So don't blow off, I can't use credit or credit cards because you lack discipline. You need to improve your discipline, right? You need to improve your discipline. That's what needs to improve, right? Or you can keep putting all of your money at risk if you want to, but that's a wealth principle that you need to understand. If you're using your credit cards and you're paying your balances not monthly, but every time you get paid. If you put $200 on your credit card this week, you get paid next week, then you take your money from your paycheck and you pay the credit card. You don't have to wait until the next month for something to come up and rock your world. No, every time you put money on that credit card, if you get paid weekly, you should be paying that credit card off weekly. If you get paid bi-weekly, you should be paying the credit card back bi-weekly. All you're doing is cycling your money. But the credit cards are going to give you a better way to track your expenses. So we got number one in the books, guys. Don't give yourself a budget, give yourself a system instead. And right now it's time for 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. 1 minute motivation is when I play a short motivational clip. I want you guys to comment your takeaway from 1 minute motivation. I'm going to give you a couple of my takeaways. And this is one of my favorite segments on the show. I believe so much in putting positive information into your head that I try to make sure that you guys get a little bit of it with me every single morning. So let's check out our clip, 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
You're going to lose friends. Do you really want this? Do you really want this? Cousins going to abandon you. People that you used to be like this with don't think you bougie, don't want to deal with you. It's a part of it, but I paid too much. If I was going to quit, I would have quit in the abandoned building when I wanted to commit suicide and take my life. I should have quit when I heard my voice say, your mama don't want you. Your daddy don't want you. Take your life. I got through that. So why I'm going to quit over an F on a grade? Come on. And so I'm telling y'all, you have come too far to quit now. You have invested too much to quit now. You have lost too much to quit now. Don't cry about it. Don't whine about it. Get a reward for your pain.
And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. It built a certain type of individual. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much sweat equity in my life and everything that I was doing.
You're too close to quit now. You gotta take another lap. You gotta take another lap, because you never know. This might be the one. You can't stop because you're tired. You can't stop because you got your feelings hurt. You gotta take another lap. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. You're gonna make it. You're gonna do it. You got an unstoppable fire. Come on, take another lap. Don't you stop. Don't stop walking.
Woo-wee. Some of y'all feeling that this morning because some of y'all, right, battle that every day the same way that all of us battle it every day. You want to give up. You want to give up, but you've come too far. You've come too far. You already in pain. Get a reward for it. What? Maxine said, ooh, wait. It's right. I'm telling you. We've come too far, y'all. We've literally come too far. Don't quit now. What I tell myself when I get to those moments, even every morning, right? I get up and I do my workouts. Every morning I try to talk myself out of working out. You know how I talk myself into working out? I say, okay, well, I'm not going to do my full workout today. I'm not really feeling it. Let me just go down here and just do 10 push-ups. See, most of the time, that voice that's trying to get us to talk, all we got to do is get started. And I go down and I do 10 push-ups. And that starts to feel a little good to me. It's like, man, you already started. You might as well keep going. Go ahead over to the bike and put in a mile. Then I ride 1 mile. And then all of a sudden, I get to the end of that 1 mile and it feels good. And I was like, oh, might as well go ahead and ride another mile. Oh, man, you're already in it. You done broke a sweat. You might as well go ahead and do your full workout. Yeah. So as I'm trying to talk myself out of the exercise, I talk myself into just taking the next step. Okay, I ain't gonna do the full thing. We've got to figure out sometimes how to trick our own minds and bodies, right? But I've come too far in my workout. I've been working out consistently for 3 years now, 3 to 4 times a day, 3 to 4 times a week, consistently. I've come too far to go back, right? The longest I've gone without working out was when I had COVID around Christmas time. I was literally down for about a month. But beyond that, I literally been on my workout 3 to 4 times per week for the last 3+ years, right? So we've come too far to give up now, right? Get a reward for it, right? Let me see what Courtney has to say. What's up, brother? He said, I felt ET in the intro. Your closest will abandon you when you walk in on a different path, man. But the sacrifices you have made to get a different point in life won't allow you to turn back, no matter what those sacrifices may be. I felt that one. Listen, man, as we continue to march down this path as fathers who are improving our financial IQs, there are going to be some people who are close to us say, man, don't listen to that bald head dude. He don't know what he's talking about. He ain't rich. How can he help you get rich? There's going to be some dudes. There's going to be some guys that you rock with. When you start transforming your life and you say, listen, bro, I made a system for myself that says every time I want to go to the club, I anticipate about how much money that's going to cost me, right? How much am I going to spend on a bottle? How much am I going to spend on a new fit? How much am I going to spend on food for the night? I take that total, and instead of going to the club, I take that money and I invest it. See, when you start talking to your friends like that, they're going to be like, man, get out of here with that. And they're going to want to start rocking with you, especially when you start encouraging them to do the same thing. Hey, man, we go out 4 times a month. All right, listen, I made a system for myself that says in order for me to go out, I have to spend the same money on my financial education that I spend going out. So if we go out 4 times a month, I'm going to cut that back to 2 times a month. 2 times a month, I'm going to go out with y'all and I'm going to kick it. But the other 2 times, I'm going to take the money that I would have spent going out and I'm going to invest that in my financial education. See, I made a system for myself to be financially successful. Some people are going to walk away from you. And you got to be okay with that. Steve Harvey's father gave him some great advice. He said, everybody that came with you can't go with you. He said, everybody that came with you, you have a lot of people that came with you to this point in your life, but they can't go with you to the next point in your life because they ain't ready. Meet people where they are, but be okay with leaving them there. Meet people where they are, but be okay with leaving them there as you ascend to new heights. So that is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Financially Lit Fathers. If you want to join our community where we're increasing the financial literacy of men, fathers to be, and we're laying out financial game plans and roadmaps to do 3 things primarily. We want men to learn the power of creating money, making money more efficiently. The internet allows you to make what you make in a week, in a day, fellas, but you got to learn how to use it. So we're going to teach you that. You need to learn how to manage and save money more effectively, starting with your taxes. We're going to talk about that. Then you need to learn how to grow and protect your money more aggressively. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, I need you to comment Financially Lit Fathers, and I will send you a private invite to that group right here on Facebook, man. Over 200 men have already gathered together, and that thing is growing like wildfire. And guess what? I even teach you how to make money with us growing the group. So make sure you guys check out Financially Lit Fathers. Now, let's continue, man. Number one thing, we're talking 7 tips for every day our father should know. Number one is, instead of creating a budget, create a system that works for you. And that system should allow your money to consistently be growing and not keep you right at the edge and spending every dime every time, right? Number 2, let's see. We talked about using credit cards to split your expenses for easy tracking purposes. Number 2 says, make your credit card work for you. See, when you understand that you're putting your money at risk when you're using your debit card, and you know that, hey, I can use this credit card, I get paid every 2 weeks, so I'm only putting things on this credit card that I absolutely need. So I'm going to take the money from my bank, pay that off every time I get paid. Well, guess what? Even if you're not using credit cards to manage your budget, it's a no-brainer to find cards with a robust rewards program, right? My girl, Latasha Deloach, is really good at this. And every year she gets a couple $1,000s from her credit card rewards cashback programs, right? Think about this. I'm doing what I normally do, that is finance my lifestyle. I pay for my lifestyle. And at the every 3 months or so, you get $300, $400, $500 for doing nothing but paying for your lifestyle, right? So find a credit card with a robust rewards program. Parenthood inevitably means you'll be spending more, so you might as well offset that by raking up some benefits, right? All eligible purchases can earn you points that never expire, and they are redeemable towards merchandise, gift cards, cash back, all of that kind of stuff. So if you're using the method of splitting your expenses, my necessities on one card, my fun and my entertainment on another card, make sure you're using cards that have a robust rewards program. And again, pay them off every time you get paid. Don't pay them once a month, right? What that does is, when you pay your cards every week, that turns over quicker. And believe it or not, they see that money rotating faster and more frequently, and they will tend to increase your credit limits when you do that as well, right? So number 2, make your credit cards work for you. Number 3, get an emergency fund going. Get an emergency fund going. Inevitably, unpredictable things will happen, especially as fathers. Something is going to happen that's going to wreck our system or wreak havoc on our system, our financial system, right? So on those days when your car craps out on the way to drop to daycare, to drop off or to drop your kid off, or a pipe springs a leak, you'll be glad you have some cash set aside for the fix. Any monthly amount that you can build on is helpful if you're starting at 0. But the idea, according to Moody, is to set up automatic deposits to a savings account to cover 6 months to 12 months of your total monthly required expenses. So if you have 0 emergency fund right now, then set a small goal to save your first $1,000. We call that the mini emergency fund, right? I'm just going to save my first $1,000. And the way you do that is you create either direct deposit from your check at your job, or you can set up direct bank draft. Bank draft Here's one thing that you could do. Now, I can't tell you what to do with your money. I'm not a licensed financial advisor or financial planner, but you want to put that money somewhere where you don't have access to it, right? You don't have a debit card to it. You don't have a checkbook to it. You just want it to go somewhere. Here's a fairly decent place to put that money. Put it in a brokerage account. Put it in a brokerage account. Why would I put my money in a brokerage account, Cortez? Because when you create this mini emergency fund and it ultimately grows to a full emergency fund, you're putting it in a brokerage account so that as it grows to 6 months, you might say, okay, I got 6 months to the side. I'm going to take 1 month of expenses and I'm going to go ahead and flip that into my favorite stock. And it's already in a brokerage account. So that's just a simple push of a button. Oh, well, I got 5 months saved up and I'm continuing to add to it. So let me take a couple $100 from this brokerage account and flip that into a mutual fund and just keep building on it and keep building on it. And then when that mug gets to 6 months, 12 months, whatever you're comfortable with, now you take that money that's going above and beyond the 6 to 12 months and you start putting that into your investments every single month because you're already used to it going into a brokerage account so you can quickly manipulate and get it into situations where it's growing for you. Now, here's another scenario. Some people say your emergency fund, you need access to it, but you also want it growing for you a little bit. So find the highest yielding money market account, because a money market account is basically like a savings account with a checkbook. You can still have access to it, but money market accounts, if you go to bankrate.com, you can search for the money market accounts with the highest interest rates. So the money market account, your emergency fund can go in there and it could be growing while it's sitting there. So those are two options for putting the emergency fund somewhere where you do not have access to it. All right. So number 3 was get an emergency fund going and set up on autopilot, either direct draft from your bank account. That means if I get paid every other Friday, then I can tell my brokerage account every other Friday, pull $50 from this account, pull $100 from this account, pull $200 from this account, and it happens automatically, right? Or you can do it via direct deposit as well. Number 4, identify your updated insurance needs and act on them. Fellas, we're going to be talking a lot about the various ways you can protect your money more aggressively with life insurance in the financially lit fathers community. But listen, it might sound morbid to think about dying when you're about to welcome a new human being into the world. But life insurance is an essential part of planning for the future. I'm going to say that again 10 more times. Life insurance is an essential part of planning for the future. Life insurance is an essential part of planning for the future. I just had this conversation with my sons. When you understand how this life insurance game really can build generational wealth, I got 5 sons. I want you to picture this scenario, right? If we have the proper life insurance coverage with a mutual company, right, that pays dividends, and our policies are structured for cash, right? I, of course, have a policy so that they can get something if something happens to me. My wife has a policy. If something happens to her, we can take care of the bills and that kind of stuff. But then I have a policy on all 5 of them, right? But here's what I'm telling my children. Y'all need, all 5 of y'all need to have a policy on me and your mom that you pay for. You're the beneficiary of it. So if something happens to me and your mom, you get what's coming from us and you get what's coming from you, from the policy that you purchased. And we want to get all the way gangster with it. y'all all should have policies on each other. See, this is how wealth is being built. You want to transfer some wealth, understand how the life insurance policy game goes. Now, I said our policies are structured for cash, right? That means we have a cash value, a cash benefit. If all of us got policies, so I got my own policy on myself, and then I got a policy on 6 of them, right? So that is 7 policies that I have for myself. Say, for instance, each one of those policies has a cash value of $100,000. At some point, that means I will be able to put my hands on $700,000 because I'm building my own bank. I can borrow that money from myself. And then my wife does the same thing. She has 7 policies, one on herself and one on each one of us. Cash value $100,000. She can put her hands on $700,000. And then each one of my 5 sons do the same thing. That's 7 of us, right? 7 of us, all at one point, as these policies mature, have the ability to put our hands on a minimum of $700,000. You think as a family, if we wanted to buy a 250 unit apartment complex and we get a good deal and it's structured right, and we need to put $1 million down, we can just go borrow that money from ourselves. Oh man, y'all ain't ready. I don't think y'all ready. I don't think y'all ready, man. I don't think y'all ready. So check out your insurance policies and make sure that they are up to date, and get adequate. Sit with an insurance professional and make sure that you're adequately covered for the things that you want to accomplish in your future. What are we on? Number 5? Number 5, you need a will, period. You need a will. And this is something that I have to sit down with some professionals and get done for myself, because right now I have about 10 income streams all over the place. And if something happened to me today, I don't even know if my wife knows how to get to any of those accounts, my PayPal, my Stripes, and all of that kind of stuff, my residuals. And we got to make sure that we get all of that stuff together. So get your affairs in order. The idea of a will and any conversation around it tends to make people uncomfortable, but resist the urge to avoid it. You need to know that if the unthinkable were to happen, your kids will go to the people, your money will go to the people you think are best, or your kids will go to the people that you think are the best to care for them. Aside from that, the lack of a will can complicate your family's financials too. For example, in many states, if you're not officially married, when you pass away, your assets will automatically go to your children with none going to your partner. So a will lays all of that stuff out, right? Another thing that you should consider, and my wife and I just did this, right? We're moving all of our business activity into a central LLC that all of us own, my wife and my sons, right? We're all owners. So that means if one of us passes, then because we are all owners in the business, then the business just passes to the rest of us, right? So my wife owns the largest percentage of it, and our agreement, if something happens to her, then her portion of the business is divided evenly amongst all of us, which makes me the primary owner of the company because I own the largest percentage, right? And that, if you have a business of some sort and everybody should be running their family as a business, that will at least allow our business to keep moving without having to have an attorney or a probate court decide what happens with our business and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, to have a will just makes good sense. That's just good business, right? Number 6, I believe we're on number 6. Spread out your savings. Financial advisors like to reference an old saying to encourage people to maximize their employer's retirement contribution plans. There's always money for college, but no one else will fund your retirement. I want y'all to think about that. There's always money for college. Those of you who still have young children and you're getting prepared and you want them to go to college, there's always money for that. And sometimes we get caught up in saving for college and we don't save for our retirement. When your kid goes to college, there's grants, there's scholarships, there's a gazillion dollars available from a variety of sources for your kid to get an education. Nobody's funding your retirement though. So what this means is if I'm waiting out, if I've got, say I got $300 per month in disposable income and I'm trying to figure out how to manage, grow, and invest that. Because I know nobody's going to take care of my retirement, I might do 300 to my retirement and 100 to the kids' college fund, right? Because I know that there are grants, there are loans, there are scholarships available for the kid to get an education. The kid wants education, they're going to get an education, right? They might have to pay for it later, but I can't get to 65 and have nothing. So I've got to properly proportion I allocate my funds to focus on my retirement above everything else. And then, of course, we do want the kids to get through college and not have to take out a gazillion dollars in loans. But like I said, nobody's going to fund your retirement. So you can have your kids graduate from school with no student loan debt, get to 65 and you don't got no retirement, right? All right. And let's see, last one. This is a big one, and this makes a ton of sense to me. Deliberately reserve some funds for fun. Deliberately reserve some funds for fun, right? Can't be all work and no play. Deliberately put some money to the side for fun and then go have that fun within the fund that you put aside. Don't do like I used to do. I would put some money to the side and say, hey, we're going to take the kids to Six Flags. Right now, I told you I got 5 sons, right? So that means my wife, myself, and 5 admissions to Six Flags. That's 7 people going to Six Flags. And those jokers would often have the audacity to want to bring a friend that I was responsible for paying for, right? And I would often have some money put to the side and say, hey, we're going to go do this, and this is the budget. But because I kept that to myself, we would get there, and then they would want all the stuff they want. You know how it goes. They want to ride the rides, and even the rides that are specially priced and all that kind of stuff. And it's hard to say no in the moment. But what I should have done, looking back on it, as now I'm a little bit more financially wiser, I should have been sharing the budget with them and said, hey, when we get here, it's costing us $300 just to get in. We got another $300 that I set aside to make sure we have fun. But once that $300 is gone, we either leaving or y'all gonna have some fun without spending any more money, right? But again, going back to, we never talk about money in our household. We certainly never have the conversations about money with our kids in our household. And that is a grave mistake, ladies and gentlemen. Fathers out there, you got kids, you need to be pulling them into these conversations, letting them see and understand how the money goes to the bills and all of that kind of stuff. That is critically important for them to start wrapping their minds around what life actually costs. Right? So those are the 7 things that every father should know. Let me let you guys hear how we're going to roll at Financially Lit Fathers. This is the game plan that I'm running. I'm going to let you hear from my coach and mentor really quickly. And then I want to share with you how this program all works together and how you can get a $99 credit to implement this program in your life. Let's check it out.
Here's a question for you. Why are you letting another multi-billion-dollar industry and multi-million-dollar partnership pass you by? Think about it. You may have missed the dot-com era. You may have missed the age of the computer. You may have missed technology. But why are you going to miss another opportunity when you can get a small percentage of a billion-dollar pie and change your family's legacy? One thing I know for sure, opportunities are not missed. They're just passed to the next prepared person. My name is Brian M. Bean, founder of the Extra Digit Movement, and one of my business partners gave you this video for one reason. We're about to take the real estate industry and the financial industry by storm, period. Think about it. Everybody ultimately needs a place to stay. Now, I didn't buy this land and these 20 acres with our new partnership that we have with Making Wealth Real Financial. I was very, very blessed to turn $228 into $228,000 in just 8 short months. Making Wealth Real Financial did give me the 750 and above credit score. Making Wealth Real Financial did give me the cash to put in my pocket and close this deal and build my dream home on, guess what? 20 acres. Did I mention to you that we have credit restoration specialists? Did I mention to you that we have enrolled agents with the IRS to help you lower your taxes? Did I mention that we have debt elimination specialists as well? Did I mention that we have negotiators who will help you shred your bills and create positive cash flow? Imagine living the life of your dreams, fishing when you want to fish, building a house that you own. Imagine having business partners who care enough about you to share with you the power of our new multi-million-dollar real estate venture. And guess what? You don't have to be a sophisticated investor. You don't have to be an accredited investor. You don't have to be a real estate specialist. You don't have to be a real estate broker or agent to take advantage of our real estate joint venture partnership. Guess what? The average person now can buy, sell, flip, and invest in real estate without the risk and without the headaches, because we have experts who do all the work. So whether you're ready to invest in real estate or not, take advantage of this opportunity in this short video by getting back with the person who introduced you and just say or text keyword soft intro. That lets us know that you're ready for a deeper dive into the next step to make wealth real for you and your family. Get back with the person who introduced you to the video, and I'll see you guys on step 2.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you if you stuck around to the end of today's episode, I would share with you my personal economic empowerment plan. And it is just that, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to fighting this war on poverty, the number one most effective weapon is a home-based business. Why is a home-based business so effective as a weapon against the war on poverty? It helps you overcome the 4 main challenges that's keeping working Americans broke: taxes, debt, inflation, big business. And if we wanted to throw a 5th one in there, limited assets, limited accumulation of assets. So those 5 things a home-based business can help you fight immediately, starting with lowering your taxes. Most working Americans don't understand that having a business literally repositions you in capitalism. But because most of us come from an employee mentality, we don't even understand the power in hiring a tax professional. Because if you hire the right tax professional, and our program comes with the tax professionals, right? They would tell you that, wait a minute, you have a business and you still work a job in corporate America? Listen, because you have a business and you work a job in corporate America, you get taxed differently. And let us make sure that your employer knows how to tax you based on your new position in capitalism. So what our program does is help. It not only gives you a home-based business, but it helps you understand that you're now in a different position. So the economy treats you differently when you're in this position. When you get taxed differently on your job, that means less taxes come out of your paycheck. What does that mean? That means you basically get an instant pay raise. The average is about $300 to $600 per month. We have people in our organization that got $1,300 back, $700 back, $200 back to their household budget every single month when they partner with us. And our experts help them communicate with their employer that, hey, I'm now a business owner. So we need to renegotiate this tax situation that comes out of my paycheck. Now, watch this. Once that money comes back into your paycheck, you have to do strategic planning and management of it. This isn't the time to upgrade your lifestyle, but instead, you take that money and you start paying down your debts, starting with your high revolving credit card debt. Why? Because you get double the bang for your buck. Your debts go down, your cash flow goes up, and guess what? So does your credit score when those high revolving credit cards start coming down. So you mean to tell me, Cortez, if I understand you correctly, a home-based business is the weapon that I should be using to fight the war on poverty in my own household? Yes, because it's going to get you an instant pay raise. That extra money starts paying down your debts. That increases your cash flow. Imagine, you might be paying $50 a month on this card minimum. You might be paying $100 a month on that card. Well, when those are paid off, you just increase your cash flow by another $150 per month. Right? So instant pay raise, debts went down, credit score went up, cash flow went up. Now you got money to start investing. And we have 3 avenues that we teach your investing, right? Land banking. How do you buy land in the path of development? And when it's time for that land to be developed by a Walmart or by a big corporation, right? They have to buy that land back from you at a premium price. Private reserve banking. I gave you guys the example of my sons, my family, all having life insurance policies with cash value on each other. So when we see an opportunity, we have the ability to put our hands on some cash, right? It's not that we lack opportunities. We lack access to capital, and we know that's a whole race play. That's a whole keeping us down play. We can't go into the bank like some of our same counterparts and get money, even if we have the same credit scores, even if we have the same income. It is what it is. We can't sit back and just keep complaining about that. We got to figure out what we can do to fix that for ourselves. And having private banking and the right life insurance policies is a big part of that. The other way that we help you invest is through real estate. We have a team of real estate professionals that will help you buy, sell, flip, or invest in real estate without having to become an accredited investor. Imagine you wanted to participate in this process. You put your money in, our team has the house, they have the contractors, they have the buyer already lined up, they have the financing already set up, and boom, put the money in, house gets fixed up, the house gets sold, and then we all split the profits, and we have to do none of the work. Yeah. It's normally $228 for you to partner with us on this journey. If you're listening to this before July 19th, that means you can apply or take advantage of our $99 credit, which means you can get started for $129. $129. And you have your own home-based business. Our experts are going to walk you through the execution of repositioning yourself in capitalism and getting your cash flow right, getting your credit right, getting your debt right, getting your investments right. But you got to take the first step. So all you got to do is text cash flow to 314-874-6887. Again, text cash flow to 314-874-6887. And I'll share with you some more information on how you can join this movement. Until next time, get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.